Cobra Kai refuses to die. The fourth season of the show, created as a spin-off of the wildly popular Karate Kid franchise, released late last year and has become the most watched season as of yet. Strangely enough, the many meandering, snaking, stumbling twists the show takes works in its favor. Before we talk of why these work, here is why they could have failed, but didn't. Starting with, Cobra Kai could have majorly messed up its nostalgia bank. Even apart from the plot twists, there isn't much a spin-off series can bank on. Of course, there is nostalgia, and Cobra Kai has plenty. Almost all the characters and original cast members return. We see again the familiar rivalry between Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence. There are older love interests as well, Daniel and Johnny's mutual crush Allie, and Daniel's girlfriend Kimiko from the Karate Kid Part 2. The ruthless sensei and founder of the Cobra Kai, John Kreese, also makes a comeback. The thing with nostalgia is, it's not an infinite supply. It peters out. There are only so many times you can hash out old rivalries or spark stale love interests. Of course, you can take the Riverdale route, where the entire writer's room competes to be the first person to put all their surreal, disjointed dreams together. Protagonists could keep their loved ones' corpses out of love. They can die and be resurrected. They could subtly discover supernatural abilities. A guy could drop out of 4th grade to run drugs to support his nana. You get it, not the best idea. Next, Cobra Kai banks on nostalgia in clever ways. Even as it references the past, the show completely inverts the past. The underdog of the film franchise, Daniel LaRusso, finally has the life he had always wished for. He's healthy, owns a car dealership, is married to the co-owner, and has 2 beautiful children. The American dream. It is Johnny Lawrence, the bully with the unfortunate haircut, who had an entire generation of adults baying for the blood of a fictional teenager, who has gotten to the short end of the stick. 34 years after he lost the All-Valley Karate Tournament to LaRusso, he is an alcoholic with a matte black car and nothing really going on for him. The American dream. His life turns around when he, in true Mr. Miyagi fashion, comes across a bullied kid and rushes to save him. Seriously, which one of us hasn't been in this situation? Here, a sensei is born. Just like Mr. Miyagi had done for the young Daniel, he takes the young kid under his wing. Cobra Kai resurrects familiar characters, but gives them a complexity that a lot of children's films can forego. With these older LaRusso and Lawrence characters, we have 2 men who are unable to move on from the past. In Johnny, we have someone who still stings from his defeat in the 80s. Where does a bully end up once he has been dethroned? Who are the people he turns to? Are there any? LaRusso, too, has his own demons. Now that the beloved, precocious talent has everything he once wished for, he seems to have lost sight of his dreams. He has the anxiety a victor carries. Is he still good enough? Was the victory a fluke? Will he hold up once again in the arena? It's these threads that the show keeps pulling at, often making a stunning tapestry of plot lines. Now, it clearly works for us, the audience. The real question is, so, were the cast on board with this? You betcha. After all these years, it seems like the stars' curiosity about the character they played as adolescents had only intensified. William Zabka, who played Lawrence, was clearly the most enthusiastic of the bunch. It was actually Zabka's reflections on the character, included in the 30th anniversary edition of The Karate Kid, that put the creators of the show to work. In his commentary, Zabka spoke of his approach to the character and how he never really considered that kid a villain. Hearing this, creators John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Heald, diehard fans of the film who had watched the 30th edition together, started to think along similar lines. They came up with some kind of a story before they approached the actors. Zabka was on board. It isn't every day that a reviled villain gets a redemption arc, or maybe it is every day. Thank you, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Anyway, Zabka was interested to see where the character would go given his dark past. Others, however, weren't as easily convinced. There was Ralph Macchio, who played Zabka's adversary, Daniel LaRusso. He was apparently unsure if the series could be resurrected to unfamiliar plotlines and formats. He didn't, however, regret his decision to rejoin the series. In a statement, he describes the process of being directed by these creators as magic. Having watched the show, that sounds about right. So, what else is up in the Cobra Kai verse? The usual has happened, and will happen, in unusual ways. The 2 protagonists will train students in their competing academies and have an inevitable final showdown. It's hard to know who will win, but it's likely that circumstances will humble LaRusso and bring some hope for Lawrence. There may even be an unlikely kinship between the 2. Then, there are the younger characters. There is Miguel, the kid Lawrence rescued and trained, who begins dating Samantha, LaRusso's daughter. Samantha ultimately breaks up with him and starts a relationship with Robbie, Lawrence's estranged son who partners with LaRusso to defeat his father. Is this incest? Isn't this incest? It will be these relationships that will bring up pasts and set the tone for the future. And now, for other news. First up, How I Met Your Mother mother may have foretold Cobra Kai plot twist. Now, we know there is only one clairvoyant show we recognize here, The Simpsons. Seriously, that somewhat creepy, perennially hilarious cartoon has foretold everything, from Trump's presidency to Lady Gaga's Super Bowl performance. Why didn't we do enough to stop these if we already knew? Now, it seems The Simpsons isn't the only show to wear that crown. In an episode of How I Met Your Mother, we visit the protagonist Barney's childhood house. In his bedroom is a poster of the Karate Kid, which was a fixture for many loners growing up in the 90s. He speaks fondly of his favorite character from the film, a hopeful, young karate enthusiast who sincerely gives his all to the sport and even participates in the All-Valley Karate Championship. Sadly, he loses. When his friends ask if he's confusing the hero with the villain, Barney grows dogged in his affection. Yes, he is talking of the Karate Kid, who is the real underdog. Phew, looks like Barney had a talent other than seducing his friend's ex. Now for a plot twist. Tori Nichols will stay in Cobra Kai Season 5. Fans will remember that the season finale had been particularly shattering for Tori Nichols, one of the best fighters of antagonist Terry Silvers. In the episode, Tori finally gets the victory she had been after, only to learn that Silvers had bribed a referee and rigged the game in her favor. Of course, any self-respecting Karate Kid wouldn't want a charity win. If that wasn't enough, the scheming Silvers also had the founder of Cobra Kai Dojo, Kreese, sent to jail for a crime he didn't commit. This obviously ruffled Tori's feathers, as Kreese, and not Silvers, had been Tori's mentor. For many years, the stage seemed set for Tori to end her association with the dojo and focus on her kombucha brewing business. Just kidding, she doesn't have one of those. Tori will take a break to come into her own as an influencer, but it wouldn't really be a season of Cobra Kai if there weren't a few plot twists thrown in, right? The trailer for Season 5 shows Tori training on a wooden dummy, like the one Daniel had punched in The Karate Kid Part 3. Will Tori return for a significant role, or is the trailer just teasing? And finally, in Season 5, Miguel slays the demons that troubled him in Season 4. Speaking of Season 5, our young hero Miguel might finally be moving on from the self-doubts that plagued him throughout Season 4. In the last outing of the show, we saw Miguel retreat into his own, desert his ambitions, and let his jealousy towards Robbie consume him. The situation got so bad that he didn't even see the championship through. Yes, the same championship he had pleaded to revive in Season 3. The trailer for the new season shows a fiery Miguel, a welcome departure from the pensive hero of the previous outing. He severs ties with Robbie, takes on Robbie in Vegas, and also has a neat fight sequence with gangsters in Mexico. If all of our angsty teenagers could have outlets like these, we will have more well-adjusted adults. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching, and what do you think of the relentless plot twists of Cobra Kai? Do you think they work, or do you think the plot is losing steam at this point? Tell us in the comments. As always, hit like if you liked our video, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on future uploads. We'll see you in the next one.